Hi guys, and welcome to episode 19 of Kent Walks. This week we are starting just inside the Kent border, a little place called Sandhurst. As we normally would, across fields, woods, streams, and we're actually going to cross into Sussex. So naughty, Kent Walks, not in Kent, only for a little bit, because we're going to go and see the ruin of Bodiam Castle, and also find out a little bit about my old favourite drink, Guinness. From the crossroads, head southeast along Church Road. Leave the tarmac on a marked footpath across fields to Marsh Quarter Lane. Turn right through Marsh Quarter Farm to descend to Kent Ditch. Follow the path west with views across the valley to the south to eventually arrive at Bodiam Castle. Pass the castle to its south and follow the marked path around to the west, which bends further still to the front of the castle, then across the grass to the northeast corner. Head uphill on an enclosed path passing Court Lodge Farm down to Bodiam Road. Cross straight over and take the first path on the right, heading north passing Lower Northlands Farm. Follow the path, turning right by Northlands as it meanders northeast, gently swinging right to appear at the driveway to Bourne Farm. Turn right, and at the end of the road, follow your nose back to the start. As we know, the Weald of Kent is famous for hop growing, and although we aren't in Kent, we're only a stone's throw from the border, and still very much in hopland. But the hops around Bodiam weren't for your typical hopped beer. They were for something darker. Guinness. As someone who does enjoy the occasional pint of the black stuff, I just had to look into this further. During my research, I came across a website by a chap called Keith Ennis. That was my main source of info for this section, so I'm going to unashamedly plug it with a link on screen below. Guinness used to produce a quarterly publication called Guinness Time, which was distributed to all its employees, many scanned copies of which can be found on Keith's website. One such edition had the start of a two-part article on the early days at Bodiam, and I think I'll simply read a couple of excerpts. At the beginning of this century, Daniel Hall, director of the Rothamsted Experimental Station, was approached by the Dublin Brewery to find them an average hop farm in Kent, such as would be likely to reveal in its running the average troubles of the average grower. Hall had previously been the principal of Y College, which was founded in 1447 by Cardinal Kemp, and which in 1894 was opened as an agricultural college by the Kent and Surrey county councils. Hall had, therefore, a wide knowledge of hop growing in the southeast region. Another paragraph reads, "Picking machines have been on the market since 1894, but few seem capable of dealing with an English crop. There is a tendency to make the machines, which are only used for 3 weeks out of the 52, much too massive. Battleships for shrimping, as had been said. The first picking machine we ever purchased in 1937 was designed and made in Worcester, and although not perfect, was by no means the worst ever made. Others have been tried, and experiments are still being carried out to find the type most suitable to our needs. No effort has ever been spared to improve the methods used, either in planting, cultivating, picking, or drying our hops." And finally, feeding of visitors' hop pickers was a problem. As numbers grew, so did the difficulties, but all came into line in due course. In 1904, one shop was used by a local grocer, and sheep were killed for those desiring meat. This, of course, was quite impossible as the acreage spread, so 2 grocers bought round foods, then 3, until even they were overcome. One butcher came from Ewhurst and another from Robertsbridge. By 1940 we had reached 5 shops run very well by one of the big grocery companies' Hawkhurst branch. In 1945 they supplied the growers with, and I'm not going to read the entire list, 23,600 loaves of bread, 17,400 bottles of milk, 3,500 pounds of biscuits, 20 tons of potatoes, 3,800 pounds of jam, 1,000 pounds of lard, 2,500 weight of bacon, and 76,000 cigarettes. Keith's site definitely makes for interesting reading, and there's plenty of it and pictures galore too. Come on, you can do it. Come on. Come on then. Come on. What? You can get over there, Ted. Look. Come from here. Come over here. Come over this way. Look. Come on. We're coming in. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on in. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Are you a dog or a mouse? Come on. Come on. Bodiam Castle is a moated castle built in 1385. It was constructed by Sir Edward Dahlingrig, who once served under Edward III. The then King of England, Richard II, thought it would be useful to potentially defend the area in the event of a French invasion, as we had been at war with France for some years, and happily gave his permission. The castle remained in the Dahlingrig family until the bloodline ran out, where ownership passed to the Leuchner family. Throughout the Wars of the Roses, the Leuchners sided with the House of Lancaster, and once Richard III became king in 1483, a small army was sent to attack the castle and oust the Leuchners. They surrendered without opposition, and the castle was seized. Richard III was killed at the Battle of Bosworth Field in 1485, and his successor, Henry VII, returned to the castle to the Leuchners, and it remained in the family until at least the 16th century. By the time the English Civil War started in 1641, John Tufton, 2nd Earl of Thanet, a royalist, owned the castle, and in 1642 led a regiment to try to raise a rebellion in Sussex in support of Sir William Brockman, another royalist and once the High Sheriff of Kent, who desperately tried to defend Maidstone. However, Brockman's revolt quickly collapsed and Tufton was forced to surrender. As a result, much of his estate was confiscated, including Bodiam Castle, which for some reason it was pulled to pieces and left as a picturesque ruin. Since 1829, the castle has had several owners: John Fuller, George Cubitt, 1st Baron Ashcombe, and Lord Curzon, all of which undertook partial restoration of the castle and is what we see today. When Lord Curzon passed away in 1925, he donated the building to the National Trust, who have maintained and cared for this stunning structure ever since. Well guys, that's about it for this week's walk. Thanks for watching.